This is a speed test between my iPhone and my Xiaomi Mi 9. Amazing specs, expensive price, amazing specs, cheap price. You know how much the iPhone costs, about $1,000, and in China you can get the Xiaomi Mi 9 for 3,000 RMB. It's about $450. So this Xiaomi Mi 9 is half the price of the iPhone 10. Everyone always says the best way to get flagship performance at the best price is to go with the Xiaomi. So let's have a look at the stats of these before we test out just how quick these are compared to each other. The Mi 9 has a 6.4-inch AMOLED screen, really great in daily usage, HDR10 on there. It also has an under-screen fingerprint sensor and that water drop notch at the top. All in all, a very modern design. On the inside, we have a Snapdragon 855, the best Snapdragon processor you can get at the moment. It comes with 6 or 8 gigs of RAM. You get a 3,300 milliamp hour battery with fast charging and wireless charging. You get a 20 megapixel selfie camera on the back. You get a 3 camera setup. The main camera is a 48 megapixel sensor. You get an ultra wide camera, 16 megapixels, and you also get a 12 megapixel telephoto camera with 2 times optical zoom. Now for the iPhone 10, you get a 5.8-inch OLED screen with HDR10. There's no under-screen fingerprint sensor, but you do get Face ID. That is housed in the rather large notch at the top of the screen. You get an Apple A11 chip in this one, just 3 gigabytes of RAM in this one, but it runs iOS. A 2,700 milliamp hour battery with 15 watt fast charging and wireless charging, although that is not fast. You get a 7 megapixel selfie camera on there. On the back, you get dual cameras, a 12 megapixel main camera and a 12 megapixel telephoto camera with 2 times optical zoom. You get 4K video recording and slow-mo on this one as well. So the boot up test on these two, actually the Xiaomi is a little bit faster than the iPhone, although you're not going to be turning your phone on and off too much. This is the unlocking test. We have the under-screen fingerprint scanner of the Xiaomi versus Face ID on the iPhone. This is how you're going to be unlocking your phone most of the time. So we're unlocking the phone 10 times using the unlocking method and then turning the screen off 10 times in a row. Xiaomi has done it in 28 seconds. That under-screen fingerprint sensor on the Xiaomi is really fast and really accurate. It's a really great feature of the phone. And I don't have to tell you that Face ID is just slow and sluggish and very annoying to use. That limped over the line in 47 seconds. That's a lot of wasted time throughout the day because we unlock our phones so many times throughout the day. I'm going to run Antutu Benchmark on both of these phones and just see how they do. Apple's chips always score highly on these types of things, but this Snapdragon 855 is an absolute beast. You don't want to watch the whole test, so let's just fast forward through it and see what the scores are. Funnily enough, the iPhone has actually finished a little bit ahead of the Xiaomi. You can see there the Xiaomi is actually testing higher than the iPhone, 373,000 versus 235,000, but the iPhone completed the test before the Xiaomi. Anyway, we can see the temperature on the phones there, 94 for the iPhone, 92 for the Xiaomi. Not much difference, but there is a little bit in it. Just make sure that both phones are in the same state. Make sure there are no apps running in the background. We're going to start the first round, start the clock and go through them and see which one is the fastest. So it looks like actually the Xiaomi is a little bit ahead of the iPhone here. I wait for the app to load and then once it's loaded I can cancel out, and actually the Xiaomi is running a little bit ahead of the iPhone, but the iPhone is definitely keeping up, that's for sure. The iPhone just inching ahead. For some reason, Toutiao, the news app on the Xiaomi, took an absolute age to load and that really slowed it up. The iPhone is already on Subway Surfers and this Xiaomi lagging behind a little bit there. It seems like actually the data from the apps is taking longer to load, which is holding the Xiaomi up. It seems to be handling the apps absolutely no problem. It's just that the iPhone's data seems to be loading a little bit quicker. Anyway, we're around about head-to-head loading PUBG, which is obviously a big test for the phones. Again, it looks like the iPhone just is coming out on top there. We're already loading Baidu on the iPhone, going through Ultima. This thing is really going through the apps here, no problem. The Xiaomi is just a little bit slow and a little bit sluggish, although it's doing really, really well. As you can see, there's no lag, there's no problems with it. It's just a little bit slower than the iPhone over every app. The iPhone has finished the first round, 1 minute 33, and then we're on to the second round on the iPhone. Wow, you can see all of these apps are still open. The iPhone has not closed down a single one of these apps. Look at that, just powering through. We're not even having to reload a single one of these apps. The games are still there to go back into. The Xiaomi is just finishing its first round now. 2 minutes and 1 second. Actually, really not a slow performance at all. And you can see there was no problems with that. But look at this iPhone. 2 minutes and 4 seconds finished, both rounds. That second round, there was not a single app on there that it had to reload. But look at the Xiaomi, it just had to reload Douyin. It had closed down Douyin and it had to reload it, which is going to make daily usage slower when you're flicking through apps. That iPhone, not a single app needed to be reloaded. And on the Xiaomi, a couple of apps just have to be reloaded, which is going to make things slower if you are going through the apps. Let's just speed this up because you don't want to see the rest of the results, but there you go. 2 minutes and 4 seconds on the iPhone, 3 minutes on the Xiaomi. Not a disastrous result by any stretch of the imagination. I think the Xiaomi held up really well there. Again, it's just running a little bit cooler than the iPhone, 2 degrees cooler than the iPhone. Maybe that is the modern design just working in Xiaomi's favor there. I want to do a side-by-side comparison of opening apps on both of these phones, opening at exactly the same time, and just see how they go with that. 3, 2, 1, go. That was on the Xiaomi actually. I would say the Xiaomi loaded a little bit quicker there. And WeChat, 3, 2, 1, go. Again, I would say that's actually around about the same time. I'm not logged in WeChat on the Xiaomi. 3, 2, 1, go. Exactly the same time for QQ there, so that's good. 3, 2, 1, go. That was definitely the Xiaomi. The Xiaomi beat Apple there. Now for iQIYI, 3, 2, 1, go. And I would say they're around about even. Did you see that ad on the iPhone there? Chinese apps put so many ads before you open them up. It's really, really frustrating and it slows down the process of using the phone. Now for PUBG, 3, 2, 1, go. Very interesting to see who loads this first. I would assume it's the iPhone. The Xiaomi is just taking its time. The animations are different on them as well, which will affect things. There we have it. The iPhone is loaded already, but the Xiaomi was really close, really close behind. So not sluggish at all. 3, 2, 1, go. The iPhone looked to load it first, but actually the data was loaded first on the Xiaomi. 3, 2, 1, go. On Ultima, here's the takeaway app. Xiaomi loaded first, but it had a spam ad. So annoying, that happens so many times here. 3, 2, 1, go. That was exactly the same time for Meitu, no problems there. 3, 2, 1, go on Lord's Mobile. A game you're probably expecting the iPhone to deal with better here, and it's loaded already. Just waiting for the Xiaomi to load it. So actually I think a lot of the differences in the way that they load and the time that they load is down to animations or just waiting for data from the internet to actually be fed to the device. And I guess you could say the iPhone won, but there really is virtually nothing in it between them. So what can we conclude from that? Well, this cheaper Android device from Xiaomi keeps up with this one pretty much the whole way. iOS is a bit better at dealing with RAM, but we know that anyway. This thing is powerful and comes at a really great price. If you want to get this one secondhand or refurbished, you're still getting a great phone. Or if you want a brand new phone with an extra camera, then you might want to go for this one. This is great value too.